How you guys doing? All right, well, over the past couple weeks, we have learned some skills that you guys are going to need to know in high school. All right, for example, we learned how to graph equations written in slope-intercept form. Then we also took some equations that were not written in slope-intercept form, and what we did is we transformed those into slope-intercept form so you could graph them properly. Now, what we're going to do today is we're going to take those skills and we're going to learn and review on how to solve a systems of equations by graphing. Now, if we look, this problem right here, if you notice what's different about this than the other problems is you have two equations. Now, what a systems of equations is, a systems of equations is going to be a point that will make both equations true. Okay, so we're looking for one point on this graph, just one point that'll make both of those equations true. And if we do that, we found the solution to our systems of equations. Now, if we take a look at this first one right here, what we got y equals negative 1 over 2x plus 4. And the second equation is y equals 2x minus 1. So what we're going to do is we're going to graph these and see where these two lines intersect, where they meet. And that point at which those two lines meet is going to be the solution to our system. All right, so let's get started. Let's take a look at the first one, okay? Now the first equation, now I'm going to rewrite it just to make it easier for y'all to see. Y equals negative 1 over 2x plus 4. Now, if we're doing this problem right here, folks, remember the first thing that we graph in this equation is going to be this 4. This is our y-intercept. So we are going to, once again, graph first. Now remember, once again, I know this seems like I'm repeating myself because you need to understand this. This number right here tells us how many times to go up or down. Remember, up if it's positive, down if it's negative. Well, because it's a positive 4, we're going to go up 4. So here we go. We start at the origin. We go up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right here, we put a point. Okay? Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our slope and we're going to graph that. Now, once again, the number on top is going to tell us to go up or down. Up if it's positive, down if it's negative. And the number on bottom is going to tell us how many times to go to the right. Now, so if we look here, we got a negative. So that means that we're going to go down 1 and to the right 2 from our point. Okay? So from our point right here, we're going down 1 to the right 2. So down 1 to the right 2 is right here. Now, once I got those 2 points, what I'm going to do is I'm going to graph it. So look, there's my graph. Look at that. That's a nice graph. Now, what we're going to do next now is we're going to take this second equation and we're going to graph it as well. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at our second equation. Our second equation is y equals 2x minus 1. Okay? Now we got to graph this. Now remember, what do we graph first? We graph the y-intercept. If it's positive, we go up. If it's negative, we go down. Now that's a minus 1. Because it's a minus 1, we're going to go down 1, right? So from our origin, we're going to go down 1. So see, we're going to graph both these lines on the same exact coordinate plane. Okay? So there we go. There's my minus 1, went down 1. Now look, we got to go up or down and to the right. What is this? There's no fraction. We got to make it a fraction. Remember, just put a 1 under that. So your slope now is a fraction. So we got 2 over 1. It's a positive 2 over 1. So from my point, I'm going to go up 2. Look now. 1, 2, and to the right 1. Right here. You see that? So I went down 1 first, and then up 2. From my point, I went up 2. 1, 2, and to the right 1. Boom. Just like that. Now, what we do next, now we're going to connect these points, and we're going to see where these two lines intersect. So here we go. So we start. Look at that. Where do those two lines meet? Those two lines meet right here. That is the solution to the system. Okay? So, what does that mean? We need to find what we call the ordered pair. Okay? Systems of equations, the solutions are always written with ordered pairs. All right? So remember, the first number is always your x, the second number is always your y. All right? Goes alphabetical order. Makes sense. Now, how do we find the coordinate of this point? Well, we start at the origin, and I'm looking for the x first. So there's my x, so I'm going to go either right or left. Now my point's here, so I'm going to go 1, 2 times to the right. Remember, if you go to the right, folks, that's positive. So that's going to be a positive 2. Then we're going up 1, 2, 3 times. You see how we went up 3? That's a positive 3. So the solution to our system is at 2, 3. And that's it. That's all we need to do to solve a systems of equations by graphing. Okay? Now, so once again, all we do, graph the first equation, graph the second equation, look where those 2 points intersect, where they meet, and that's your solution. Okay? But remember, you need to write the ordered pair as your answer. The point is not your answer. The coordinates of that point. Okay? That's what's going to be that's what needs to be written for your answer. All right? Now, let's try another one. Okay? Because sometimes we got some interesting situations that happen. All right? So take a look at this next problem right here. Erase this right quick. Okay. Now, there we go. I thought my pen wasn't going to work. All right. So here we go. Here we got 2 equations. Y equals negative x plus 4. Y equals negative x minus 2. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to graph each of these equations. Okay. Now the first thing is I'm going to graph the first equation. So let's rewrite that again to make sure everybody can see. Y equals negative x plus 4. Now, this we're graphing first again. We're going up 4 because it's positive. But look at my slope. What is that? Negative x. What can we put in front of the x, folks? A 1. Now remember, your slope needs to be a fraction. So what should go underneath that negative 1? A 1. So we're going to put negative 1 over 1. All right? Now, so let's go ahead and let's graph this, see what happens. First, we go up 4. Look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Way up here, right? Next, our slope is negative 1 over 1, which tells me I'm going down 1 and to the right 1, right? So I'm going to go from my point, I'm going to go down 1, boom, to the right 1 over here. And now I got those 2 points. Let's connect them and see our first line. Look at that. Perfect. All right. Now, sometimes, I'll be honest with you, my lines aren't perfect. I should be using a straight line maker, okay? Whether it be a ruler, your ID card, or something, okay? But straight lines are going to help you find the most correct answer in systems. So you should try to think, you should use one of those. Next, let's graph that second equation. Y equals negative x minus 2. Here we go. Look. Y equals negative x minus 2. Now, we're going to graph this line. Now, once again, listen. We got a minus 2, so I know I'm going to need to go down 2 because that's the first thing that I'm going to graph. So I'm going to go down 2 first right here. Perfect. Now, I need to graph my slope. But once again, we got that negative x. What do we do again? The same thing we did before. We're going to put a 1 in front of the x, and we're going to put a 1 underneath the x, like so. Now we can graph. So from this point right here, look now, from our point right here, we're going to go down 1 because it's negative and to the right 1. So I go down 1 and to the right 1 right here, and I put that point. Now what I'm going to do next, now I'm going to connect these dots and see where the 2 lines intersect, because where they intersect is my solution. So look, I drew the line. Now where do the 2 lines meet? They don't meet. They will never meet because these 2 lines are parallel. This is what we call a special system, okay? When you have 2 lines like this that are parallel, that never going to meet, folks, you're never going to get an answer because in order to have a solution to a system, the 2 lines need to intersect. They need to meet at one point. These will never meet because they're parallel. So what we would write, because we don't have a solution, we would simply write no solution. And that's all we would write, because we don't have an answer. So it's no solution. Now, I want y'all to take a look at the two equations up here. Now, I knew in the beginning that this was not going to have a solution, okay? Because there's a way to tell. If you look at your two equations, is there something that's exactly the same? Look now. The slope. You see, this number, this slope right here, and this slope right here are exactly the same. Because they are the same, and your y-intercepts are different, you are not going to have a solution. Those lines will always be parallel when the slopes are the same and the y-intercepts are different. Okay? So that is what happens when you have two lines that just don't meet because they're parallel. You get no solution. All right? Now, I really hope this made some sense to you. Okay? So please get started and have a great day. Thank you.